So look at where we stand in the AL Central standings. We have a 73-40 record, 12 and a half games ahead of the Tigers. At this point, we own the AL Central, and we'll look at the rest of the standings to see who is hot on our tail. And it looks like the Mariners are 69-46. The Astros are 63-51. The Red Sox are 65-49. And the Orioles are 68-47. In the National League, the Braves have 70 wins so far. The Dodgers at 77 wins. The Brewers and the Cubs are tied in the Central with 64 wins. And the Phillies and the Braves are close in the East at 74 wins, 70 respectively. But we are looking really good. We've won our last 5. We're 7-3 in our last 10. If you look at our rankings, they're looking really good. Our defense has even gone up or down depending on which direction you're talking about. We had the defense in the 20s the last time we looked at it. Now we're 15th. So apparently we've done something to change that. What I'd like to do today is look at a young pitcher that we have that is our 4th starter. His name is David Festa. So not a name known across Major League Baseball, at least until this year, where he has gone 14-3 with a 2.44 ERA and a 1.15 WHIP. As a starter, I notice just now that he has only 3 pitches, and it makes me want to add a 4th pitch, just because most starters have at least 4 pitches. You rarely see a starter in the majors with just 3 pitches. But David Festa has been able to control those 3 pitches, to dominate at times with those 3 pitches, and use them effectively to keep hitters off balance. Sometimes not knowing what's coming, and sometimes just not being able to hit it because it has such movement. If you look at his innings pitched, he has 125 innings pitched, 120 strikeouts, so a K per inning, which is always good, 41 walks, and 104 hits given up. So you talk about the breakthrough star for us, it would be that gentleman right there. And we are paying him $800,000 this year. He does have a quirk. He's a road warrior, and he had his first All-Star appearance this season. The former 13th round pick. And he's gone up from an 82 to an 86. And he, as you can see, is on fire right now. Now, the way it lines up with the schedule, we're not playing one of the toughest teams in the majors, but I thought it would give us an opportunity to see Festa pitch and maybe see our lineup go around one time, maybe twice. We'll see. But just take a look at our players, as we haven't gotten to take a look at them in a while, it seems like. And so let's get into the game and see what this guy is all about. See if he pitches well at Sutter or Suter Health Park. Capacity of 14,000. So traditional MLB stadium. I'm kidding, of course, but as you can see, they don't have a home stadium for the A's because the A's don't have a home stadium, and they don't even call them the Las Vegas A's. They're just the Athletics. So we are going to play at a minor league park, and some would say play against a minor league team, as bad as Arizona has been. So, I mean, Oakland has been, or the Athletics.
It's the Minnesota Twins going up against the Athletics.
So they're kind of the polar opposites of us as far as records go. David Festa, as we've already seen, dominant on the mound as of late. Trevor Larnach hitting .375 over the last 14 games. Jake McCarthy looks to extend his 10-game hit streak. Matt Wallner hitting .382 over the last 8 games. And as I shared before, the Twins are looking to extend their 5-game winning streak.
Biggest story in this one is just how dominant.
So there's the man
He's been in complete
that
control in recent starts.
So much
is in the Cy Young Award
painting
race
corners, changing
this
speeds.
year.
He's been an
Look at
absolute
his last
nightmare
13
for would-be
starts.
hitters.
That is just phenomenal. If he continues to pitch that way, we're going to have a great young pitcher on our hands.
First pitch coming your way next.
One of the few Twins, it seems. And this isn't completely true, but it just seems that it's one of the few Twins that wasn't drafted in the first round.
Put his team in a position to win a
He was
ball
a
game. So we know he's
13th round
we know
pick.
this guy's a competitor, and we'll watch how he works in this one.
Jake McCarthy leading things off and takes a strike.
So we'll watch us bat in the first against the Athletics.
Severino kicks deals. Swing and a miss, and that's strike 2. Severino with some less than fantastic work on the hill lately. Way outside, it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Even the best pitchers of all time have had stretches where nothing was working for him on the mound. Maybe he needs to have his turn in the rotation skipped or something. get his mind
So
right to get
McCarthy
back on
out on
track. You know that's
strikes.
got to be very frustrating for this
But
guy. He knows
McCarthy
the strike
is
zone
having
extremely
another
well, and
phenomenal
you know what? Good
season.
hitters are not going to compromise.
And
He'll
he was
take
really
that
just a
punch it, but
minor
ultimately stick with his
trade
plan and have more
acquisition
success than anything
last
else.
year from the
Luis Surprise
Diamondbacks
stands in.
to get some
1 run
speed
batted in
and
yesterday. Their
defense
only run of the game.
in our outfield.
There's a strike.
Speed on the base paths
Arise
for
with some
us.
impressive production lately.
But he has
You don't stick at the
become
major league
much
level
more than
unless you can
that.
string together consistently solid
Luis Arise, the
performances.
hit
Right
king, of
now, he's
course.
showing us why he's lasted in the big leagues.
On the ground. And it goes just foul. To
Down
third.
at the bottom, Johan
On to
Duran, our
first.
very
2
own,
quick outs
is
at the top of the first here
tied for
tonight.
the league lead
And now we take a
in
peek at the Twins lineup. And this offense
saves
is
this
really
year.
clicking right now, Chris.
That's a good feeling in that dugout over there. You feel like when
And
you
there's
walk to
your
the plate, you're
Twins
going to get an
starting
out, you're
lineup
going to
right
drive in a
there.
run, you're going to do something productive, even if it's just get a walk to keep the line moving. And that's a great feeling to have. They've got it bottled right now.
Here's Byron Buxton. Right now, he's 9th in the AL in home runs. That's in for a strike.
Byron Buxton is doing what he was
a
built
former Gold
to
Glove
do.
winner, 32 years old.
Truly a
He's been scoring a
5
lot of runs
tool
lately. He scored 9
player
times in the last 10 games.
that has seen most of his career cut short by
Warning
injuries.
track, wall,
And
you
Buxton
can touch 'em all, baseball
hits
man.
that 410 feet.
He muscles that one out the opposite way.
I don't know
Homer number
where we're
25
playing,
on the year, and they jump out front. It's 1-0.
but
That's a
he
fun
hits
way to
a
take the lead.
bomb
Just hit one out of the park.
to right center to give the Twins a 1-0 lead.
Power versus power right there, like two locomotives colliding. Who's going to win? Well, a really good job there by the
A
hitter.
couple
Getting
years ago,
the top
Luis
end working.
Severino
Powers that
was
fastball out of here.
considered a pretty decent pitcher, but
Now it's
he
the
has
DH,
sure
Matt
struggled this
Wallner.
year for the A's.
In the
There's
first
no
pitch
doubt
misses
about
for
that.
ball 1.
Matt Wallner to the plate. He does have 24 home runs and a career high
2 out, space is
with
empty.
69 RBIs.
Next pitch is outside. Severino maybe a little less aggressive on the mound right now after that
He
home
does
run.
strike
Chris.
out a
Yeah,
lot,
it
as
seems
you
that way. You know, pitchers, they can
saw
come out,
on the
feel
graphic
good, but then all
there.
of a sudden get touched up a little bit, and they start trying to throw instead of pitch. They're not trusting their stuff.
And a foul ball. Well, he's been
I
good for the
think if
most
I
part.
was doing
Is it
an
going to take
A's
someone going out to the
franchise, I
mound to
would
maybe
not want
refocus
to
him a bit?
Well,
play
partner, every
in
pitcher's
a
a little
minor
different.
league
Oh,
stadium.
that's a strikeout, and that'll do it for the inning. But the Twins strike first on this solo shot. It's now a
So
1-0
Byron
ball game.
Buxton
Back
is the
after this
offense
on
for
the
the
show.
Twins in the top of the first at the world famous Suter Health Park
And we're back. And
in
pitching in this game, David Festa.
someplace in the
What should we keep
United
an eye on
States.
here?
I do not
Well,
know.
coming into this game, hitters are batting under 250 against this
So
starting
there's
pitcher. So
Festa's
it just
numbers
shows
again. We
you
went over
how
them
effective he's been. He's been
just a
able to
few
move his
minutes
pitches
ago,
around,
but
add and subtract,
just
change up the
shows you
look
the
so that
dominance
hitters
of the
don't get
guy
too comfortable and start
and
squaring
why
up
the
to
guy
baseball. We'll see
may
what he's
very
got in this
well
one.
win
Now the A's designated
a
hitter,
Cy Young
Robinson
Award this
Kirk.
year
And that
at
misses.
the ripe
1-0.
age of 25.
That one is upstairs.
So he gets behind Robinson Kirk 2-0, which is never a good thing.
Yeah, big swing and a miss.
Now he's back in it.
High in the air, out to right. McCarthy
Kirk
settles
hits it
under it.
fairly hard,
Makes the catch for the out.
but McCarthy
All right, let's take a look at the lineup. Someone who makes things happen for them, in part with his
catches it
legs.
for out number
Robinson
one.
Kirk.
This guy had an on-base percentage of over
There
400 last
is
month. That's just telling you he's taking his
your
walks,
lineup
he's
there
getting
for
his
the
knocks, he's
A's.
finding some holes. Everything just going
A
really
few
well for him right
names
now. But
that,
don't overlook the fact that that happens because he's
you
having
know,
consistently
pretty
good at
big
bats.
fans of Major League Baseball would recognize. But for the most part, not
Schumann now at the plate as he
a
swings through
roster
strike one.
filled
Just
with
a bit tardy there.
very
Not
good
sure if he had a
players.
hard time picking it up out of the hand or if he was sitting off speed.
And
That
that is
misses,
one of
and
the
it's 1-1.
reasons why the A's have the record that they do this year.
And downstairs. Line drive caught.
Wow, nice play by Luis Ariz at
I mean,
first.
he couldn't have hit that ball more on the screws than he did, and yet he's got nothing to show for it. Hang with him. I know the feeling.
Ariz, to put it kindly, is
Brent Rooker up next
a
for the
pretty
A's.
terrible
He's been on
fielder.
fire at the dish
And
lately. Chance to extend that hitting streak to 10 games here.
And that one just misses.
teams that have him try
Rooker
to
with another
hide him
scorching
by
run of
putting him at
quickly.
first or DH, which is a
And
little
1-0.
shocking. The guy can hit any
Swing and a
pitcher,
high
right or
fly ball
left,
right
and
field.
yet he
McCarthy hauls
just
it in
is
to end
such
the
a
inning.
horrible fielder. They don't necessarily go together, but that is Luis Ariz. So Festa gets out number
And welcome
3.
back to the ballpark. Here's Royce Lewis.
And even though he was getting behind in some counts, he did what he had to do. Here's Royce Lewis, $20 million man that is signed through, I believe, his 30-year-old year. So he'll be around for 4 to 5 more seasons.
Patrick Johnson calling the balls and strikes.
Pretty standard zone for Johnson. Sometimes he might get a little jumpy, a little excited, and
I
expand
know
the
the
zone. But
Major League
usually the
Patch
relief
is
from
there
the
on
pitcher
the
on the mound is earning.
umpires,
That's
but
important you got to make players earn it.
wonder if, since this is being played in a minor
How
league
much
stadium,
were you aware of the umpire scouting report, or even who was going to be
I wonder
umpiring?
if they do get
Not a whole lot. I mean,
AAA
there were a couple of umpires
umpires.
that weren't real good, but outside of that, you just kind of went into the
But
game.
Royce
Especially when
Lewis
I was
is
As the game has
having
moved
a
along,
phenomenal
we see
year, as
more
you
and
saw
more
his numbers
information
there.
supplied by. Oh, this one high and
And he
deep,
hits that
way
one
back
deep
there.
to right field, but
Just
it's going to be
missed it.
just caught. Was that Rooker in right? Man, Royce Lewis
Here's
just
David Wyatt.
missed the home
And
run.
Siggy, we already know he's going to finish the season with a new career high in home runs.
That would have been kind of a cheap home run, but nonetheless, it would have been a home run. But he just needed a few more feet. Trevor Larnach has done his job in the platoon role that we have for him. As you saw his numbers, he's pretty phenomenal. That one's hit hard too, but that one will be caught as well.
Maybe caught that one off the end just a little bit. Couldn't quite barrel it up.
But this
enough to really
season,
drive
he's just done everything asked of him.
He's got pop, which is a little sneaky
Hitting
because
against
he's
righties.
so comfortable with
Here's
taking
Bo
his
Bichette
bases
down
to the opposite
at
field, where he
7
can jump
hole.
you if you make a mistake.
Kind of nice to be able to have someone like Bichette hitting 7th for you. But that shows you kind of the how good the Twins lineup has become, where you can put a guy like that down in your lineup. So the Athletics get the Twins out. We'll go to the bottom of the inning. We'll watch some more of the Festa action. 6'6" hurler.
Right side. And that chance handled.
Oh, that one is
Sends it to
not a
first.
base hit.
A
So
good
Willie
level play,
Castro,
deep in the hole.
the shortstop, turned second
And
baseman,
now Zach Geloff.
makes
Definitely
a
scuffling
great
at the knees
play
lately. Only 2 hits over the last 5 games.
to get the first out of the inning for
And that's
the
it for a strike.
Twins.
0-1.
Some pitchers can go out there and rip off a month or
Here's
2 of
Zach
incredible
Geloff.
starts. And right now, it looks like he's in one of those grooves. Really fun to watch.
Swings and misses. And it's 0-2. And it's fouled off. They'll do it again.
As just a
That wasn't an
general
easy
fan
pitch
of
to hit.
baseball,
It's
you have
much
to feel
easier to do
bad for the
damage against
Athletics
mistakes,
as
but that's not
they
what that pitch was.
have just
Now
missed
base is
on
empty.
their own prospects for the most part, and
That's
on
inside.
prospects
And the
that they
count is
traded
1-2.
for
See if he can go upstairs a little bit. Make sure you miss up and
as
out of the
they
zone. So should have
dismantled
the count
their
1-2.
team a
Don't
few
miss
years
in the
ago
zone,
and
'cause that's where you can
just
get hurt.
unloaded some great players and got many talented minor league players back that just have
Made his
not
stride with
worked
that
out.
two-strike fastball nicely and just
And
bunched him
it's
up on the
just
inside
kind of
part of the
sad
plate.
for
Couldn't
them.
get around on it and catch it out front. Many times if you do, it's a foul ball. And you know, a lot of pitchers, they really don't like working inside with 2 strikes because they do not want to hit that batter.
They
And
really
when you got
have
him
in
up against the
effect
ropes, gotta
become
figure
a
out a way to put him away.
AAA
Did a nice
type
job right
team.
Kyle McCann stands in here, takes ball 1 low.
What I do want to know is I do know how they got Roman
Another
Anthony
ball.
there. That's a
from
good pitch there.
the Boston Red
He had
Sox.
some
So
run and
Roman
finish,
Anthony
little up and in just on the
at one
edge.
time
And
was
that's one of
the
those, if you
number
swing at it, hit a broken bat,
2
jog
prospect
back
in
to the
all of
dugout.
baseball. And I believe that
And
the
an
Red
out.
Sox,
And that's how they get their first base runner of the game.
Well, 2-out walks are never good, especially
let
when
me
you're trying
think
to get
about
back into
this
that
a little
dugout.
bit.
But he's still in a good spot. He's just
Was
got
it
to
Lawrence
refocus and deal
Butler
with the bottom of this order.
that they traded for
Hayes
in
working
this
through some
game?
struggles lately.
Yeah, they say baseball is a
It's
game of
somebody who
failure, and that's
usually
true
doesn't
even for
progress in
longtime
this
major
game,
leaguers.
but
Sometimes you'll have tough stretches just like this, but he's an experienced vet
did
who'll probably
progress
right the ship soon.
Austin Hayes in the box now.
this
No balls and a strike.
simulation. And they snagged him but had to give up their top prospect and the second top prospect in all of baseball in Roman Anthony.
And that's a strikeout looking. That was pretty
So
nasty. So it's no runs,
that's the end of
no
the
hits,
second.
no errors,
Besta
and 1
just
left on. We head on down to the
quietly
top
goes
of the
about
3rd.
his
It's
business.
the Twins
He
1 and the
doesn't have
A's 0.
overpowering stuff, even though he's 6'6". You would think he's a flamethrower, but he really isn't. And he just does what
Welcome
he
back.
has to
Let's
do.
check out what's been happening of late.
And don't get me
Really
wrong, he
playing
throws
well.
hard. But, he's not going to strike out the side or anything like that. So Willie Castro,
Fouled
the
off.
8th hitter for the Minnesota Twins.
There's the strike up high. 0-2.
Looked pretty good as far as being in the strike zone, but I'm sure as a hitter,
Luke
not too good.
Keishel,
Located
I
very
believe
top
is
of the
his
strike
name,
zone, middle away.
is in
Let's throw it
AAA,
on to first.
nipping
Gets it.
at
And
Castro's
away on a
heels.
3rd strike.
We'll take a look at the 3-pitch
Um,
sequence here. Pretty simple in terms of putting
getting
away at the
close
plate.
to
Once you're ahead 0-2 as a pitcher,
taking over
Really
the
expand
second
the zone
base
and see how
role,
aggressive
but
that hitter's going to be
I don't
trying to
know if it'll
protect
be
and
this
battle. And right
following
there,
season
clearly he was in
or
swing mode, but all you can
if
do is hope the
Castro will
foul went
hold it
off.
down for one more season.
Ryan Jeffers at the plate.
But he is performing
Check swing,
well in
called the strike.
AAA. Heschel is, and he is improving his overall numbers. So should be very interesting to see next year.
Comes up empty. That's strike two.
No ball, 2 strikes.
Down to the dirt, swing and a miss.
So Ryan Jeffers
Up with it,
swings
fires
and
to
misses
first. In time for the second out.
for
Good
out
job to
number
clean it up after the
2,
drop third strike.
Really love
Severino
the
on
pitch sequence right there.
the
I'm telling you what,
K.
pitcher and catcher on the same page right now.
But despite the K, Jeffers has been solid for us throughout the season. He's even handled the pitchers fairly
So up
well.
next, Jake McCarthy. He's 0 for 1. That's in there.
Hey, 7 straight strikes to start
Which
the
is a
frame. He's
heavy
got a chance at an
thing to
immaculate
ask of
inning.
anybody. But any catcher that takes up that responsibility
Right
is
through there for a strike.
usually
All right, there's
a
number
good
8,
catcher.
1 away.
As you can see, McCarthy was an all-star this year.
Got him. And how
And
about
McCarthy
that? It's an
just
immaculate
looks
inning.
helpless out
Well,
there.
he's saying he needs
Severino
some
looks
defense.
like
An
the
immaculate inning, 3 strikeouts, 9
Luis
pitches.
Severino
We just witnessed
of
something really
a
special.
few years ago. Or that the Yankees thought they would be getting, if I
Taking a
remember
look at
where he
some
came
notable
from
Rookie of the
correctly.
Year candidates this season.
Center fielder, Roman Anthony.
Wow. So Ryan Clifford is number 1 and Roman Anthony is number 2 in American League Rookie of the Year voting at this point. So here is Roman Anthony, one of the most talented players in all of baseball. I don't know if he's considered a prospect anymore.
I got only 3 hits in my first month,
But I don't know how many at-bats he's had with the A's either. I don't know if he's been up all season
right
or
now,
not.
but he's capable of figuring it out.
But the kid can flat out rake pitching. At least he did at in
Wow,
the
that's
lower
a tough
levels,
call for the hitter, but the pitcher will
minor
take
leagues.
that all day long. Not quite in the strike zone, but he found
What a
spot
pitch
that
by
the
Festa.
umpire is going to,
98 miles
at
per
least for
hour,
now,
too.
allow him to get that call.
Just
So hitters gonna have to
unhittable.
make an adjustment, but pitchers are going to learn from those things and really try to exploit them if they can.
So here's Jacob Wilson.
The next to hit takes outside.
Not a household name, but if you're hitting 9-hole for the A's, you've got to be struggling with the bat, I would say.
And it finds
But as I
its
say
way
that,
for a
he
hit.
gets a
So
single
now back to the top
through
of the order.
Couldn't have timed
or
it
right
up any
by
better than that. Really good swing right there. He got a pitch that he knew he could handle.
Luis
Allowed
Ariz.
himself to
So
stay back just a tad bit longer, and he hit the ball on the
shame
switch.
on me for that.
So
It
to
is
begin,
interesting they have the
Robinson
Las Vegas patch
flied to
on
right
their
his
shoulder.
first time.
I hadn't noticed that before. So they do
Here's a high fly
identify
ball out to center.
as
Buxton
Las
moves under
Vegas,
it, and they're 2 down.
bound or
Up next,
Las
for the A's,
Vegas,
third
a Las
baseman,
Vegas team, but
Max
the game for
Scherzer.
whatever reason
Digs in
doesn't
now.
call them
0
the
for
Las
1 so
Vegas
far.
A's. So I don't get it.
And a first pitch fastball is in for a strike.
David Vesta is just dealing though at this point. He's got 2 outs. Max Schumann at the plate.
That's a strike.
And a bat like this is almost over as it begins. In this situation, you have no idea what the next pitch is going to
And
be.
he is hitting corners like the best in the business do.
One ball.
In the dirt,
What a
but
job
too
by
close.
Jeffers to block that. Jeffers is not a good blocking catcher, but he did a phenomenal job there.
And that's off the inside edge. And that's ball 2.
So Festa 2-2 to Schumann,
Got him.
and he gets him on another fastball
So 1 hit is all they get. 3 innings complete.
to
It's
end the
Twins 1
third.
and
So
the A's nothing.
Festa is straight dealing at this point.
As we go to the top of the 4th. And now for the Twins, Luis Arias.
Luis Arias 3 for 6 in the
The
series,
guy who's going to deliver
but 0 for
average,
1
not a ton of
today.
power. He's looking to hit a line drive somewhere.
Well, that's why it's a team. And when you look at a lineup, he's a
We
great
hope
two-hole
that
hitter, or a guy that you can put at the
Severino
bottom to
doesn't
help turn that lineup over
have
and
his
some
best
momentum
outing
for
of
your
the
top hitters
season.
coming up to the plate. Instead of letting the
It's
hitter get
not
his
what
arms
we paid
extended,
to
tied him up a little
watch.
bit, slightly up,
There
slightly
is the
in.
playoff predictions, and it has the Twins
Cracks
at
his bat,
101
pops
and
him up.
61,
Schumann. Leadoff hitter retired in the 4th.
with the best record in the American League. Arias thrown out by Schumann,
So up next for Minnesota,
and the
Byron
Dodgers,
Buxton. He's
it
already homered in
predicts
this game.
104 wins, and the
Buxton
Phillies
recently
102.
taking home Player of the Month honors. Swing and a ball lifted in the air.
Oh,
Shallow
that was
right
piped
field.
for Buxton, but
Rooker
he
tracks it
just
down
didn't
for
hit
the
that
out.
hard.
Well, those can be
The
pretty
exit
fun as an outfielder.
velocity
Got to
was
put it into
68
his
miles
highest
per hour on
gear
that.
and
So
go a long
I don't
way
know
to
if
track
he
that one
was
down. Nothing
not
better
going to
than
swing at
Feel like
that
a
and then
wide
just
receiver
swung
playing
at the
football.
last second, or if he was looking for something else,
And he's been on a good run at
what the
plate,
deal
hitting over
was, but
325 in his
he
last 10 games.
he sure didn't hit
Swing
that
and a
hard.
ground ball and foul ball.
Wallner, another first round pick of the Twins,
And it stays fair.
and what a great hit down the third baseline. He'll stop at first for a single.
Everything came
2
together
outs
for
in
him.
the
I know that
inning.
was a ground ball, but it was absolutely
We'll
hammered
see if
through the
Minnesota
infield.
can
That's
get
not
something
one you're
going,
excited
though,
to get
with
in front of
Royce
if you're an infielder.
Lewis
You know
at
they
the
used to
plate.
say, charge it. Crazy.
Severino
I don't
checks
think
over to
Wallner
first,
will
and he's
steal,
back.
but you tip your cap to Severino for checking
And
on him.
now it's going to be Royce Lewis. And the sweeper misses.
Lewis with the 26 home runs so far and the 73 RBIs.
The pitch. Off the mark there. Ball 2.
He has really turned
Wallner off of
into
first with 2 away.
a star, bordering on
Next
superstar.
offering is in for a strike.
So 2-1 count, should get a good pitch to hit.
Swing and a pop up. Foul territory.
And it looked good to me, but he didn't do much with
And
it.
that'll do it.
And he pops out to the catcher for out number
One left
3.
for Minnesota, but they hold a 1-0 lead.
So we go to the middle of the 4th. The Twins up by just 1 run on the Buxton home run.
And we're back. Bottom of the 4th, and now the right fielder,
Here's
Rooker.
Brent Rooker
He's a guy
with
who does it
16
all.
home
But
runs
lack
this
of
season.
contact in today's game. This
Has
guy
to be
hits for contact, so he delivers
a high for
but
the
there's
A's.
on-base slugging too. On the inside corner for a strike.
Early in the count, you have to be real careful because of that power. But then if this hitter gets a strike or 2 on him, he's still very comfortable. And because he has the ability
Tigers
to get the
seem
barrel
to
to
be
the baseball,
scuffling.
he's a threat deep into the count as well.
They lost 11-1 to the Orioles today.
And that's ruled a swing.
Just a
It's
nasty
strikeout.
set of pitches by
Well, big
Festa.
power guy right
And even
there.
though he
He's
only
generating
has
so much
3,
bat
he
speed,
does
it's
a
hard
great
to bring
job
that
of,
to a halt once you've committed. They try to check the swing,
at
but he
least
just couldn't
in
do it.
this small sample size that I've seen, he just mixes them well.
Batting for the second time,
He
and that's
really
strike one.
uses the
Wow, we
fastball
call
to
that
set up his other
keyholing. Even
pitches.
though it's right there and looks pretty good, if he doesn't love it, he's not going to swing that early in the count.
And takes low for
And he
ball one.
doesn't have an upper 90s fastball. It definitely is 95, 96.
That clips the corner.
But he comes back with the circle change
Base is empty, one
again
away. We're here in the bottom of the fourth.
and gets a strike this time.
Fouls it off. Still 1-2.
Excuse me.
Now one missed. Up and in, and that's ball three.
He's great hitting the ball the other way.
Yeah, you almost never see starters with just 3 pitches. That is a rarity. So
And that's ball
I
four.
really got to do some work and
What a battle. It's not always easy laying off a 3-2
probably
pitch,
get
and I'll
him
tell you what,
a
he
4th
earned that
pitch.
Runner on at first with one gone. Next up for the A's, Zach Geloff. 0 for 1. He struck out swinging last time. There's the strike.
Just pinpoint accuracy when he seems to need it with most of his pitches. And now he pipes that one to Zach Geloff. That was a fastball. So he went back to the fastball again. And there lies, in fact, why we were talking about the 4 pitches. With 3 pitches, the hitter is going to see the same pitch. Sometimes in the same at bat multiple times, which is just not ideal unless it's a pitch that they don't hit well. But most guys can hit something down the middle,
right there. You take advantage of a mistake. That is an ultimate. Here it is.
a little up,
I'm going to jog around
but down the middle. I mean, that was just stroked. That's too bad for Festa.
Will hit next.
He was pitching a great game. And still is pitching a good game.
And that is ball one.
And one of the tough things, too, as I was a former college pitcher, and at an elite level, though, I can tell you from experience that
and that is strike one.
it is, it's just tough when
That's a little bit low.
You know, if you try to go into a game with 3 pitches and you say one of your pitches is not, you don't have good control of it, or it's not getting called on the corners.
Offering is outside.
You know, like that circle was way outside.
Swing and a miss, struck him out.
And he had good control of that slider there, but with just 3 pitches, it's makes it a much easier guessing game for the hitter, which
most times you're swinging over the top and walking back to
if
the
he
dugout.
can get a 4th pitch, that is pretty nasty.
One ball, no strikes.
You know, he can just take himself to that next level. And anytime you have a certain pitch that's not working that day, it's just so nice to have an extra pitch. You know, even a 5th pitch. But 4 good ones.
Swing and a miss, struck him out.
Great pitch with the slider.
The A's with a 2-run blast.
But before all that, Zach Geloff took David Festa, our Cy Young candidate, deep for a 2-run
Welcome back. Quite a pitcher's
bomb
duel so far. Here's how the starters have performed up to this point.
to put the A's up by 1 run. You see the starter comparison there, and Luis Severino looks like I don't know, Garrett Cole or somebody.
Severino back to work. And that's through there for a strike. And it's 0-1.
Well, after putting up a nice inning on offense, got some runs across, this is where you look for the starter to go out there, have a shutdown inning. Don't give that other team any hope. You just
No
want to get through
outs,
this inning,
top
get
of the
bats back
5th.
up there while they're hot.
That's in there.
Larnach will get his second at bat of the game.
Started to go at the 1-2.
Ooh, good,
Check on it to third.
good call. We'll
Swing.
take it.
Gary Simmons with the call. And there's a ball.
So the 3-2 count, and Larnach hits
And the leadoff man set down in their half of
a
the
very
fifth.
soft ground ball to Geloff for out number 1.
Now it's the shortstop, Bo Bichette.
That will bring up Bo Bichette.
Slashed foul
Who
down
so
the right
far this
side.
season has
Walk-off
put
to
up
the seats.
phenomenal numbers. He's surpassed
Check swing,
or
called
equaled
strike.
many of the numbers that he put up last year in a full season. So we believe that he's back on track.
Back going with a foul ball.
I wouldn't throw him another breaking ball. Try to
He
go
does
get him
have
with
a
fastball,
potential.
slightly elevated. He just is having a
I
hard time
did
catching
look
up.
at the potential, and I don't remember what it was exactly, but it was over 95. I do remember that.
He's 0 for 1.
So it might have been 96, which is kind of crazy when a guy has dropped to
Swinging a foul
80
straight back.
or 81
Two down,
when we
nobody
got
out.
him.
And we're at the top of the fifth.
You know, you would think they
There's a
would have
swing
their
and a drive.
potential at 91 or something.
That's not coming
And
back.
that one is hit out by Willie Castro.
He flexes his power with that swing. It's 2-2.
So he sends a
Put a good
message
swing
to
on it, but the box
AAA
score might want to credit the wind for that
saying,
home run.
stay in AAA, Luke Kershaw.
Well, he put a really nice swing on that one, and everything was on time. Took a direct path to the ball. Excellent extension, and
He
drove it
ripped
out of
that
here.
pitch.
Nothing better than when the ball jumps off your bat like that.
So it's all tied up thanks to the home run. Ryan Jeffers.
So
the
great
next
job
up.
by the 8th hitter in the
Foul
Twins
ball.
lineup
Ball game is still tied. They can get out of
to
this
tie
inning
this game
with a
up.
tie game.
Ryan Jeffers, 12 stolen bases.
That one outside. 1-1.
One of those guys with sneaky speed.
Swings and blasts one deep to left center.
And he hits that
That should be
well.
extra bases.
He's going to get
Around
2
first,
on
heading for
this,
2. And that's a 2-bagger.
as they do throw to third. It's cut off by the
All
shortstop,
over that
but
one. Pretty much just a
Jeffers
textbook
hits his
double into the gap,
21st
and
double
when you can
of
drop
the
one in there
season.
between the outfielders, you know you're making the turn at first. Just an excellent swing. A chance now to take the lead, and at this point in the game, that could be a deciding run.
So maybe they're getting on to Severino, but there are 2 outs. Oh, and McCarthy chases after one up in the zone. McCarthy has 2 strikeouts on the day. He doesn't want to go for the hat trick.
Man at second. That one is absolutely
Wow, he
belted.
hits that well
Should be extra bases.
to left
And
center.
kick
The
off
center
base
fielder will
wall.
pick it up
Runner
and
from
throw it
second
in, but
crosses
a
the plate.
run will
It's
score,
3-2.
and McCarthy will easily
Not
roll
sure
into
too many
second
people are paying
base.
attention attention to it quite yet, Siggy, but that extends his hit streak to
Wow,
11
that's an
now.
11
Well,
game
I know
hitting
he
streak
knows
for
about it,
McCarthy.
even if a lot of our viewers don't.
That
And
is
this is
just
when it's clear
incredible.
it's no fluke. 11 games in a
I
row, and that's when
really
even the hitting
had
coach starts to leave you alone. They're
very
going so good
small
that nobody wants to mess
intentions
it up.
for
Arise. Right
McCarthy,
for the
but I
third
thought
time.
he
She
was
comes
going to
up
help
empty there.
us a lot, because he brought what we needed in defense and speed, on the
Over to
base
his side.
paths.
That's
And
in for a
oh,
strike.
he's stealing
And
third.
that's a stolen base, not even
Oh
close.
my gosh, he's safe. 25th stolen base of the year. Nice job.
McCarthy on third
But
and 2
he
out.
really has just blossomed into
Got him.
just a
Good
star
job of
player
damage control right there. But
when he
2
didn't
runs
come
scored
over
and they
from
jump ahead.
Arizona as a
Home half
star
of the
player.
fifth
So
coming up. It's the Twins 3
that was
and the A's 2.
a mastermind trade by the front office. Very good trade. So the Twins go up
Let's check out some
3-2,
notable Cy Young candidates so far this year.
and there are your American League Cy Young candidates. Vesta is in first place over George Kirby and Christian Javier. But it is close. It is very close.
And the first offering a fastball for a strike.
If he doesn't get a knock right here,
This
that
is a
Michigan
little
team is
sad
going
for
to eat
Roman
at it for a
Anthony because
while.
I
You might not see
I
another
don't
pitch
know if
like
the
that from a
game
top
will
level
now
guy like
nerf
this.
him because he's being called up to the
Just
majors
missed.
Well, after 4
before
runs, this is
he
where you're
really
looking for
should
that
be in the
shutdown inning.
majors.
Get that hot team back in there to swing the bats.
Therefore, with his 219 batting average
Pitches
and
outside.
probably low home run totals, not walking a lot, striking out a lot,
Swing and
hitting
a
into
high
double
fly ball in the air
plays.
left field.
You
Squeezes
just
it.
hope it
There's one
doesn't
down.
nerf his A potential,
Number 5.
Now
and
Jacob Wilson.
where
One
he
for one
doesn't
with a single season.
grow and become
Taken
a
high in the
really good
draft, he's had that
player
top prospect label
because
over
he's
him since he
stuck in the
put on a
A's
professional
organization
uniform.
where
But
he
at some
has to,
point, that starts to go away, and you've got to produce
play
if you're
on
to
their
keep
major
healthy.
league club.
Swings and misses. 0-1.
Well, the offense has
And he
gotten
doesn't
going,
have
and the
guys to
pitcher
hit
needs to go out
around
there and have a
him
real quick inning,
either.
get those guys back into the dugout so those bats can stay hot.
Next offering is in
That's
for a
a big
strike.
thing that not everybody thinks about. But, having guys in front of you and behind you take the pressure off
Shortstop
you
takes the ball.
if they're good
0-2 fastball
hitters.
way out of the
It
zone. I think
does
he's
take
trying to
the
speed him up.
pressure
Got to
off
stay back.
off of you,
Off speed's probably coming.
and it
Home
puts
team
guys in
down a
scoring
run.
position. It
Last
puts
half of
you in
inning number 5.
scoring position. I mean, if
Comes up empty as he
you're a good
chases that
hitter,
one in the dirt.
and it gets
Catcher
you
has it, fires to
runs
first.
scored,
Got him. 2 gone after the strikeout.
gets you
Well, I'm not sure what
RBIs.
he was waiting on right there. He
It
got
just
the
does.
changeup and
It
still laid
makes
on it. You
pitchers,
rarely see that. It almost makes you think that he's
pipe
trying to set
pitches
the
to
pitcher
you
up. I
because they
mean,
don't
if
want to
you
have to
can't catch up
face,
to the off-speed stuff,
the
there's
guy
no way you're
after
going to touch a
you,
fastball.
and you're just not going to get that when you're
Kirk
in the lineup
stands in
of
now
of
and
the
watches strike
A's,
1.
unfortunately. But Vesta's gone back to just doing his thing, and that's getting hitters out. So
That one finds the zone.
that was
0-2
a
now.
generous
He doesn't seem to
call,
like to
but
catch up.
Vesta will
Hasn't
take it
offered on either one of those
and
pitches.
go
0-2 count
0-2
now. I think the guy's going to climb the ladder
on
up
the
there.
leadoff man, Robinson Kirk.
And now 1 and 2.
For anyone who's seen the movie Major League, which I don't
And that's
remember it
counted
very
away.
well, but it was an old movie about a ragtag group of Cleveland,
Fights it off. He'll see
at
another.
the time, Indians. Now would be the Guardians. And I believe the
Comes
owner
up big
wanted
with 2
them to
strikes.
lose so she could move the team. So she got rid of
Right
all
through
their
their
good
cover.
players
And it's a
and
3-up, 3-down inning. And the A's are
just had
gone in
terrible
order.
players
They trail
playing
it
for him.
3-2.
So kind of reminds me of the A's.
Welcome back as
Leading
we
off
take a
for the
check of the
Twins,
current
center
standings.
fielder Brian
So there's
Ryan.
another look at the AL Central standings, as well as the AL West standings. The Athletics are not mathematically out, apparently, but 32 games out, I'd say they're out.
And that one fouled off.
So
When you
Buxton with a
examine
home run
Buxton's career trajectory,
in
the
the
thing
first
that
inning,
really jumps out, the speed and the
solo
defense
shot.
early on. And that misses. And the count is 1-1.
Buxton has been able to stay healthy last season
Here's a
and this
high
season.
chopper.
I think he's
Can't
going to get
pick it
on.
up with the bare hand.
That's a
Safe
base
at
hit,
first, no
guys.
play. We'll see how they score this.
It was a
So
healthy cut,
Buxton with
but the
one of
same
his
can't be
5
said for the
tools, and
contact.
that
He
is
got
speed.
just enough of the ball to put it in play, and that's
He
all he
didn't hit
needed.
it well,
Tough play for
but
the defense on what
he
was kind of
used
a
his
swinging
speed to
bunt.
get on.
Manager out of the dugout, and he's going to make a change. Luis Severino departs, and it wasn't his best
So
start, but he
Severino
kept
leaves
them
the
in it to this
game,
point,
but
and they'll come
he
back
pitched a
with a
good
new
game
offense.
Pitching for the
So a new
A's,
pitcher on the mound for
overall.
the
He
A's,
really did.
Caleb Ferguson.
You
Bringing in
can't
the lefty with a left-handed hitter coming up to
complain
hit.
with the
Classic
innings
bullpen
that
move right
he
here,
gave
so
the
we'll
A's.
see how it works out.
But they'll turn to Caleb Ferguson, who has pitched in
And next will be the
69
cleanup hitter,
games this
Matt
year.
Wallner.
So this is not good for Matt Wallner,
Ball one, no strikes.
as lefties are not his favorite. For those of you wondering about our September call-ups,
There's the strike.
I do believe that whether it's at DH or one of the outfield spots,
Called strike right there.
there is a high likelihood that we will call up our top
That
prospects
one ripped left
to get
field.
some ABs in the
He's raging
outfield.
back
And
on
that
it,
one is
and
hit
that one
hard
is
by
a
Wallner right after I said that he couldn't hit
homer number
lefties.
25 of the year. It's
And he
5-2.
just threw that back in
That's
my
their third
face.
home run of the game.
I'll
They're having
take
a
that.
lot
I'll
of fun at
take
the
it.
plate in this one. They've got the long ball
And he
working for
hits an
them on
opposite field
follow-up.
home run to give the
Gotta like
Twins a
fastballs, especially
3-run
away, or like putting the
advantage.
ball on a tee. Hitters do a lot of cage work. They're comfortable hitting off the tees.
What a
He's
job he
comfortable
did
right there, hitting that ball opposite field for a home run.
against that lefty.
Royce Lewis.
And
The
Ferguson
next
is a
twin up to
pretty
hit.
good lefty.
Close, but called a ball. And
But
that's
back
ball
to
one.
what I was saying, for Minnesota fans, for fans of baseball, especially that love young, up-and-coming
Ripped on the
guys,
ground a second. Gets it to first.
and I would
Now one
really
gone in the
stay
top of the
tuned to
sixth.
this series, as there is a good chance that one of our
Here's the left
September
fielder, Trevor
call-ups
Larnach.
will
0 for 2 in this one.
will be called up and be playing either one of the outfield spots or a DH spot.
This one popped up. Makes the grab, 2 down.
Now batting, shortstop, Bo Bichette.
2 down, base is empty. And now for the Twins, Bo Bichette. That's a strike. It's 0-1.
Some hitters are just more confident if they can track that first pitch out of the hand of the pitcher. They don't care if they fall
For
behind.
those of you who don't know who I'm talking about, you'll have to watch last episode,
Just missed.
specifically the last minute or so of the episode, because I leave it with
Falling
a
behind 2-1.
tantalizing thought.
There's a sinker at the knees for a strike. Base is empty, 2 away, but 2 runs are in, and we're the top half of the 6th.
And all I'll say is that
Swing and a miss.
and
Struck
Bo
him out.
Bichette goes
That
down
ends the
on
frame.
strikes,
But the Twins
but
bring
not
in 2
before
on the
Matt
homer.
Wallner
It's 5-2. You're
puts
watching
a
Major
dent
League
in
Baseball
this game
exclusively on the show.
in favor of the good guys, the Twins.
And welcome back to the ballpark. Bottom of the inning. Now the number 2
Festa
hitter,
goes
Max
back to
Schumann.
work. But
Swing and a miss.
let's just say that for September call-ups,
Cole Sands getting ready to go. Herder also getting ready.
I'm fairly certain that we will have the number 2 prospect in all of baseball. That one will fall for a hit off of Festa.
He's been swinging it really well lately. Pitch was on the outside, didn't go
As
the other way with
MLB
it,
The
but still a
Show,
nice job of using the big part of the field to find a hole. No way he
I
hits
don't
it
know
too
if
well
they've
he
heard
hooks
of a
around the
complete
baseball
game
there.
before. For anyone that's played MLB The Show, you
ready
guys
to
know
hit.
what I'm talking
Struck
about.
out on just 3 pitches last
Starters
time.
can go about 5 innings and maybe
In
6
there for
if they don't
strike
tire
1.
Now
themselves
this
out
team
too
is definitely
much.
looking for a big swing of the
But
bat right here. Try to close that
there's
gap,
no
but,
such
at the
thing
very
as
least, if you
a
could find a way to
complete game
manufacture that run
in
from first, it
MLB
feels
The
like it's
Show,
really important
or
to getting back
very
into this ball
few.
game.
And the 0-1.
For some reason, they haven't fixed that. Wow. Almost a double play there, but they do get one, the lead runner. Oh, there's Clifford, the possible rookie of the year in the AL. Wow, he stroked that one right up the middle. I really wish the show would fix that, though. Because part of why Festa is getting lit up right now is because he's tired, so what inning are we in, the 5th? If we're in the 5th, he's not even going to get the win. I will say we have a pretty dominant bullpen. It is the 6th, so he does qualify for the win. Wow, that one's hit deep. Oh my goodness. That is gone. That is too bad. That not only ties up the game and loses the win for Festa, but it adds 2 more earned runs onto Festa's numbers for the day. So that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. So just because we're playing the A's, they still are a major league club, and you've got to bring it every day. And Vesta has one of his worst starts for sure in a long time. And our great relief core, Cole Sands specifically, doesn't help a bit. Wow, so that ties the game at 5 through 6, or uh, through 5 and 2/3, now through 6. So as you see, that's not really right down the middle. That's up a little bit, and he got under that and elevated it and got it out of here. So Castro's put out quickly, but as I was saying just a few minutes ago, number 2 prospect in all of baseball, Walker Jenkins, is playing at AAA right now. Has played at AA for most of the season. He started off fairly slow, and then he got really hot. We moved him up to AAA. Jeffers with a base hit down the third baseline. There's no way he's getting a double off that, but a nice hit by Jeffers. But Jenkins is playing at AAA. He has just over 100 at bats. Is hitting extremely well in a small sample size, and he is now, not his potential, but his overall is an 83. So McCarthy flies out to center for out number 2. So we have an 83 overall outfielder playing in AAA, and he just became an 83, and recently. He didn't start the season that way. I can't remember. He started in the 70s, high 70s before the season, if I remember right. And his numbers are just going up. And he's 21. So I didn't necessarily, I wasn't super pumped about bringing him up. But 21 or not, the guy's an 83. He's better than any uh, third outfielder that we have. He's better than any DH that we have. So it'll be interesting to see if we do go ahead and call him up, how he does for us. So please stay tuned. Not just Twins fans, but baseball fans, because it should be an exciting September. So we've been going about an hour strong here. Vesta has pitched and is out of the game now. So I don't think many people want to see the A's hit in a minor league stadium. So we will quick manage this. So pitching change, ground out. Single scores a run in the top of the 8th. Trevor Larnack. Another. Oh, I thought another run scored. Did they throw him out at home? They must have thrown him out at home. Yeah, they did. 2 outs. Wow. Well, that's too bad. I'll be right back, guys. So we beat the A's 6-5 on Larnach's RBI single. So next episode we'll dive into how our major league players have been doing. We'll try to check on our minor league players as well. And hopefully September call-ups will be here. I'll get to see who we call up. So tune in next time. Thanks for joining us. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And smash that like button and leave me a comment if you have any thoughts, series, or ideas. Just love to hear from you guys. So thanks for stopping by.